Well, you know, look, water is wet. Okay, football have technical difficulties all the time. What can I say? This week it was me. Last week it was Ryman. But you
Hey,
know,
I sorted
yeah,
mine out before we started. Thank you very much.
yeah, I decided to sort mine out like 2 minutes after we went live.
That's the one.
But hey, that's what happens when you don't do a fancy phone in from a studio in Dunstable. For those who watched the BBC Three Counties phone in earlier this
Yeah.
evening. Yeah, very interesting. And I can assure you with this emergency fan phone in that we're doing because Jack Wilshere is the new Luton Town manager. Myself and my co-host Mark Ryman won't be asking people to phone in. We won't be vetting callers. You can call in and say whatever you like. Ryman, how are we getting on, mate?
Yeah, it's a good job we don't vet, really, isn't it? I mean, we don't vet the hosts, so why would we vet the callers? Yeah, I'm good. Do you know what? I'm feeling really positive about it. And it's the first time I've sat here and felt positive about things for a long time. So I'm going to bloody enjoy it. Yeah, look, I think we'll get people saying some positive stuff. We'll probably get people with the reservations and the lack of experience and everything else. But look, I have to say that I have to say that I think the board's done a really good job, and I feel like they did a good job with getting rid of Bloomfield when they did, and they've also done a good job at appointing what I think is a really ambitious manager in terms of where we're going, not just in terms of the name. I think it's a risky move, but it's a bold move. And in Chris Powell, I think there's a really good balance there as well. Look, there's no guarantees that it will work, but yeah, I'm feeling really, really positive about it. And I know people will have their say on this as well. And I'd love to hear on the comments if you don't think it was a good appointment, fine, let us know who you'd have. I'm personally, I'm pleased it's not Wellens. I've nothing against Wellens. I think he's doing a great job at Orient, and Orient fans are rightly singing his praises. But to me, doesn't offer enough different from Bloomfield, and he's never really done it apart from at this level. Yeah, he's done a good job with Orient. He did a decent job with Swindon. I think that's pretty much it. So there's not much out there for the kind of experienced Sean Dyche types, because those types ain't coming to us in League One. So I'm excited.
Yeah, Sean Dyche, I think he's in the frame to replace Ange Postecoglou at Nottingham Forest.
Yes, already.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
He's only just got in the job.
Yeah, he's been there about a month.
Nottingham Forest are the new Watford.
No, they're worse than Watford. Even Watford don't sack managers this quickly. It's mad. Absolute madness. Yeah, I completely echo what you're saying. Richie Wellens, he didn't really get my juices flowing at all. There are some managers that are just cut out for a certain team, and I think that's Wellens. Like, we tried taking a manager from a team that was having great success, and it doesn't always translate. Whereas this with Wilshere, and I've said it in my Wilshere joins reaction, that's in the comments below. It's very exciting, and having a coach with the with the gravitas, the the experience of Chris Powell with him sort of adds it balances it out. It really does, because Wilshere comes with a lot of footballing experience. He's played at the highest level. He's played in World Cups. He's played in the Euros. He's played in the Champions League. Played in every competition, and he's won 2 FA Cups. He's won loads, and he could be good like oh god, he could be like a Lampard. Oh, that pains me saying that.
I know, but
and I feel he has too much of a personality to be a Rooney, and I feel bringing in Powell sort of helps as well. Like the only place Rooney's ever had success would be Derby, and that was when he had Rosinha with him. So yeah, it's one of those like with these managers, and like look at Steven Gerrard as well. He's only had experience when he had a certain someone with him. I think it was Michael Beale, wasn't it?
Nick Beale first time round.
Yeah.
It didn't work so well the second time round, but when he went to Villa, didn't he? Beale left to go to Villa, I think, to be his number 2 as well, and it didn't work as well. But yeah,
I'm
with you.
It's all about number 2s, and I think this is a really good one. There were some rumors going around about trying to bring in some other FA coaches. I think the club sort of went for Powell because he was on a temporary contract to Walsall rather than Bold, who Bold would have been a blinding signing. It doesn't mean we're not going to go get Bold, but he's only just joined QPR.
I was going to say it'd be a lot tougher to get him out of QPR, arguably, wouldn't it, than Powell out of Walsall. I always thought that looked like a tough one. But I've been really impressed with Powell. He's been a good manager in his own right as well. I said this to you before we went live, that I would argue that Chris Powell's a better manager than Richie Wellens, and he's our assistant manager. And again, it's not meaning any disrespect. It's only because those two were the ones that were most likely to be in the frame. I think it definitely has a Nathan Jones, Paul Hart / Mick Harford about it, doesn't it? It really does. I think that's enough. That look, all we need is a little bit of a spark for fans to get behind, and I think that's what we'll get. We'll get it for Mansfield at home to start with on Saturday. There's a lot there to be positive about.
Yeah, it's immediately brought the fans sort of more back on side, and anyone that just wants to moan away. Like this could very easily blow up in our faces. It could, but at the same time, it's exciting. It's a big name, name, and look, even bring in like a massive name, like an established name. That's a risk. That's a risk as well. It could be really impossible to motivate these players, whereas these players might respond to Jack Wilshere. Let's get a couple of comments, see what's going on before we bring in our first caller. Reminder, you can call in. The call link is pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the description below the video, so come on in. And
please do.
We want to hear from you guys. We don't want to talk. I've already done my talking. Ryman will talk as well. Right. So good evening to everyone in the chat. Nick and Mel. Oh, Chalkster. Good evening, guys. May I just say I'm very excited about Jack and Chris. We now must get behind them on Saturday and come in your droves to cheer them on. You better believe it, Chalkster. I think it's going to be a sellout. I think the ticketing site crashed earlier because so many people were trying to get tickets. Nick and Mel, exciting times. Wilshere and Chris Powell, risk taken but could really pay off. David Coop, he who dares wins. Rodney, yeah, damn straight. T-Boys, at least we know Wilshere's assistant, unlike Bloomfield's. Yeah, like look, if you compare the pedigree between Chris Powell and Lee Harrison, who's never coached above League Two. He was like League One. He was a goalkeeper at Barnet. Like that's all I remember Lee Harrison being. Just a goalkeeper at Barnet. Yeah. I don't remember him doing anything else. And he was coaching our strikers as well. Absolutely mad. Absolutely mad that anyone thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, just on that really quickly, and we'll keep going with the comments. Just and I'm sure we'll talk about the press conference with both Wilshere and Powell, but there was more character. There was more honesty, some more integrity in that than I've seen in the entirety of Bloomfield and Co.'s reign as well. Just it was so refreshing to hear people talk and mean it. It was fantastic. Right, sorry, carry on.
And not just be robots,
100%.
Yeah, like I feel he was very, he was very, trained for the first part of the press conference, and also for the internal club one. He was very polished. However, for the BBC 3CR one they did in the main stands, he was very much more Jack the lad, and especially for the other interviews, he was a lot more relaxed, and he was talking about the Arndale. He's from Hitchin. He lives 8 miles up the road. It's much better than a manager that's got a 4-hour round trip to get home.
True.
Like, it's just too perfect. It's honestly too perfect. Brimster, any new appointment is a risk. It worked well with Nathan and Paul. Why not Jack and Chris? Exactly. Matthew Byra, I hope this works out because patience will be short with this fan base. I think we'll give Jack Wilshere time though. In this division with this team, this could go very badly wrong. It could indeed. Mason, Chris Powell was brilliant at Charlton. He won League One as a player and a manager. And Chalkster, he could be another Arteta. Wow. I'll take finishing second in the Premier League any day of the week.
Or even League One at the moment.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Frank Lillywhite, very exciting. Thought very highly of our Arsenal. They wanted them back to the under-21s. Looking forward to the new era. It's good. This positivity is fantastic. I love it. Chris Putman, first Luton manager to have played in Soccer Aid. Amazing. Can you believe that? Do we think he's going to hire more coaches? Yeah, we discussed this one off camera. Yeah, he's going to hire more coaches. We could be going back to Bolds, but it was just too early, wasn't it? Tom Mollett, I think it's exciting. He'll be so keen to be successful, and the Powell appointment is totally key. It's high profile. It's got real promise. Already he shows personality. Exactly what you said, Ryman. Yeah.
Just chalk and cheese.
It is a stepping stone for him. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah. To be honest, if he gets us promoted, someone will come in for him. Like 100%. Like a Premier League team will come in for him just because of his name, LT, even Simon Jordan was saying how impressive he talks about the game, which is high praise. He normally flags everyone off. Hopefully he can put it in practice. Exciting appointment. Super Mickey Chow, feeling so much better about this now. We know Powell's in the picture. Yep, correct. I like the talk. M1 Jammed. I like the TalkSport interview. He really does sound like a Luton lad. Well, he is. He's from Hitchin, Highland Hatter. I know it's very early, but who do you think may be sold during the Jan transfer window? Yeah, just can't wait to get everyone out. Ruel will get first one out. Yeah, out.
God. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Walters, like in the pictures that were released, like Walters has like this big grin on his face, like because Walters worked with Wilshere, so he knows.
Of course he did. And we've got quite a lot of injured midfielders, so he'll be at least at home with those, won't he? So
will we see him on the bench, do you reckon? He talks about his time when he came back to train with NJ at the beginning of the season when we went up. I found that very funny. Like he realized under NJ we trained at such an intensity, he knew he couldn't keep up, and we ended up going up that season as well.
It is, that's true.
So right. It's amazing. He's worked under NJ as well. Like that's I love that, albeit temporarily.
Yeah, but I think it's important because that's the Luton we want to get back to. Is exactly that. So he's seen what the end goal should look like. So that's brilliant. Right, should we get a caller in? I think we've got Simon's been waiting patiently, haven't we? In the
I think keep him waiting a little bit longer. He's only been waiting 27 minutes.
Why not?
Right. Let's bring in Simon. Good evening, Simon. How are we getting on, mate?
Hello, gents. How are you?
Yeah,
Optimistic. Way.
Hey, yeah, for the first time, get a smile on the
it's been a
face.
while.
I know. It's a strange
Been a
feeling,
while.
isn't it?
We're usually all very depressed when we talk.
Nah, but you know what? It's a new Luton, isn't it?
No, man, I'm happy. I'm quite happy. I think the reaction in general has been good, on the whole. And sometimes you just need a spark to get things going, right? And it does feel like Wilshere has brought that spark today in the fan base and uniting us behind him and the team. Watching those videos the club put out today, I did enjoy them because they weren't rehearsed. They weren't very official. Like they're following Jack around and he's taking a picture of one of his first England shirts that's been hanging in. I think it was the Nick Owen lounge. That
No,
one.
it's the John Moore. It's
That's
the
it,
John Moore Lounge. I'll take this moment to say to everyone that's watching, if you get a chance to, do the ground tour. You can get tickets. Just search Luton Town Stadium and Ground Tour. It'll take you to the Luton Town website. Book your tickets. It's absolutely fantastic. If you're a Hatters Heritage member, you get a discount as well. It's only a tenner. £15 if you're not a Hatters Heritage member. 50% goes to the trust. The other 50% goes to Hatters Heritage. And honestly, it's a 2-hour tour. It's absolutely fantastic since they've done the other half of the ground now. So, yeah. And you'll see Jack Wilsheres' first England shirt. It's right next to Keith Keane's, I believe. Keith Keane's Ireland shirt. So, yeah, I recommend it. Yeah, but go on. Sorry for cutting.
That's all right. I'm happy for you to plug Hatters Heritage. You do great stuff. You guys do.
Legend.
Utmost respect. More people should get involved if they can. Honestly, support Hatters Heritage. These guys do amazing things with the history of Luton Town. Back to Wilshere, who also a part of Luton Town history before today. Like you said, local hitching lad. Gets it. I know he is this big ex-international footballer, been all around, done everything. But when he walked onto the Kenilworth Road pitch and he pointed at the Mick Arthur flag and just went, legend, that it sold me. It really, really sold me when I saw that. I thought it was brilliant. And I think that he clearly has ideas. And let's hope we can put them into practice. There's been a renewed interest around the club today that we haven't seen for a while because we haven't been very good. So maybe that inspires Ted and Mengi to go back up a gear. Maybe, we've got to hope that does happen. I think Chris Powell was an excellent appointment. I think that he's got pedigree. He's been there as well. He's done that. He's going to bring that experience that a lot of us were calling for over the last week into the dugout, being able to guide Jack, because this is his first gig other than those couple of games at Norwich, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So I think that was really smart. Whether we go for bold later or not, I think that Powell is a brilliant person to have around the club.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm so impressed with Powell as well. Just the way he talks about the game. Whenever you hear Chris Powell talks about the game, it just fills you with confidence. Did a great job at Sheffield Wednesday as well, considering all of their off-the-field issues, and admittedly working under a fantastic manager in Danny Roll as well. And of course, and just it's sort of a glimpse in terms of both of them. Whenever you see their football teams play, it's not going to be. It's not going to be dull. Chris Powell, in one of the interviews, talked about how the reason why fans pay their money is to watch teams shoot, get forward, and attack. It's refreshing, isn't it, to hear that stuff?
I think I said it myself a couple of weeks ago. It's like, imagine football is like going to the theatre, but imagine going to a play and like none of the actors know their lines. They all miss their cues on stage. And then one of them drunkenly staggers and falls into the audience. That is pretty much how we've been as a football club. You can't do that. These professional footballers, they need to be able to do the basics. And right away, Simon, like, what do you want to see from this team? Is Mansfield too soon to see us playing football through the middle rather than just pumping it down the channels?
I think that we're going to see something because Wilshere's going to want to get off with a win. That would be the dream, right? I think first and foremost, we need to put ball in net. When we get into that final third, to do something with it and just score a damn goal, Luton. Don't bugger around with it like you have been at times this season. I don't care how many final touches you have in the opposition's third. I just care about ball in net, Luton Town winning football matches, playing well. It's so frustrating because the last 2 seasons, every time we've got our hopes up, they've been dashed. We have been chopped down so many times over the last season and a half, in particular, that I think it's all right to get carried away and hope for the best in this scenario, because that's how you breed a winning mentality into any squad. And Wilshere's got a job on his hands. I do think he's got a job on his hands, but I think it's worth the punt on Wilshere to get the team motivated. I read this stat. Someone can fact check me, or if not, out of the last 8 managers who blooded in League One as their first club, they've been promoted 4 times.
That's a Gary Sweet stat, that is.
Yeah, exactly.
You've taken that Gary Sweet stat, that, mate.
Let me get to it. I think it really reflects that it is a 50-50 gamble in this case. It's a 50-50 gamble with an unknown quantity. Could it pay off? I think that we've set him up pretty well with Chris Powell behind him.
Yeah. Look, right now, I think it's an appointment that works on so many levels because, one, Gary Sweet knows that it's an exciting name. It's one of England's most talented footballers that we produced in the last 20 years. 2, he started his career at Luton. Yeah, he was only here for 2 years and he left at the age of 9 to go to the Arsenal Academy, but he's still a local boy. 3, he has pretty much an identical coaching trajectory to Nathan Jones, down to his 2 games in interim management, where 1-1, drew 1. So, and blooded himself coaching for the academy. NJ did it at Charlton. Wilshere's done it at Arsenal. Debatably a higher level. Obviously, I don't know if Wilshere's as erratic or as passionate as NJ. I don't know if anyone can, because NJ, to be honest, is like a walking heart attack waiting to happen. He really is, like, the way he just absolutely loses it. Will we see Jack Wilshere like jump into the crowds like after a last minute winner? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's concerned about his ankles or his legs, or getting an injury. I don't know. But it works on so many different levels, because it was exactly what we needed right now. And I'm not trying to be a happy clapper. I'm just trying to, be reasonable about it. It gets me pumped. It really does. But it's a massive risk.
It is a risk, but I think it's one that we need to take at this
rewards.
point.
Yeah.
It's a huge reward. Also, just in terms of trajectory, if he does turn out to be the manager that he could well be, this is the only chance we were ever going to have him, is now in this league at this point. So it's all very well saying, well, he's the kind of manager when you're more stable or pushing up in the Championship, when he's already had experience under his belt. As Ollie said already, he gets this job and he does well with it and he gets into the Championship. There will be teams far higher up and far bigger than us interested in him because of the profile that he is. This is our only chance to have a manager like this as part of it. So, if we're going to get him, this was it. This was the time to get him.
He might even stay for a couple of seasons until the Arsenal job opens up. He's local after all. No, you never know. Look, Arteta's been there for like 6 years. He's fallen short so many times. So yeah, fallen short in the Premier League so many times. Obviously, win stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Look, we've got to get over this. I know. But right now, like, we got a job to do, and that is get promoted from League One.
Yep, that's the be all and end all, really. We can't stay in this league. Like, I don't think people realise the financial ramifications of us being in League One for any prolonged period of time.
Oh, I pointed it out in my last video, like when Bloomfield was sacked, to reiterate those points. Well, firstly, we had players like Jacob Brown who were on, like, let's say he was on 30k in the Premier League and he got a 30% reduction in the Championship and then another 30% reduction to League One. He's still on 15k in League One, when you're taking into account 30% and then another 30%, which is that's probably more than double what we paid on average last time we were in League One. This is our final year of parachute payments. A lot of the money has obviously gone to the infrastructure for Power Courts, and the drop in revenue from the Championship to League One is 7 million. So 8 million in TV revenue in the Championship, 1 million in League One, I think 500k in League Two. So it is absolutely paramount that we get out this league first time of asking, because it could be financially quite catastrophic. We'd have to cut our cloth really, really quickly and delicately as well, because while building a new stadium and building a new stadium, as well as holding a lot of these players to like relatively high salaries. Like, obviously we are paid relatively high salaries to get certain players into League One, the likes of George Saville, Jerry Yates, players that actually sort of did it in the Championship. We've got to get out of this league first time of asking. Rant over, off the soap.
No, absolutely agree. We can't stay in League One. It would be pretty catastrophic. I completely agree. And the whole ruthlessness of sacking Bloomfield was with that in mind. We cannot stay in League One. We have to get out at the first time of asking. We need those finances available. We need the higher profile for Power Court, because they've gone for the biggest stadium. You need to be in the biggest league possible to fill that up.
Yeah. Well, we were never filling it up anyway, but you get closer to filling it up when you're in the Championship rather than League One, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. I'm really positive though. I'm optimistic, man. It's nice to feel optimistic, and I hope that it falls our way this time, because it's not fallen our way for ages.
Yeah, we haven't helped ourselves with some of those. Like Bloomfield didn't feel as positive because deep down I think we all knew that it was the wrong decision at the wrong time. Whereas
We
this
all
one,
tried to make the best of it, though. I
did.
supported him for ages, man. It was only in the last few weeks that I was like, nah, I can't go on, really.
I think West Brom for me meant that he had to absolutely go in all guns blazing at the start of this season to overcome that. A lot of people, I think, feel the same way. That West Brom game, because of the fact that we'd given ourselves such a chance and then just absolutely threw it away tactically and on the pitch on that day, I think
it hurts.
That was it for a lot of people. Hurts. Yeah, that was it. But yeah, you're right. People did give. It is worth pointing out. People did give Bloomfield as much time, and obviously we didn't have as much time to give Bloomfield because he was appointed so much later on in the season. But people did. I mean, and believe that he could turn it around. But you're right. This feels, it's not just because of the name. I think it's, there's lots of things attached to it. It's not just because he's Jack Wilshere. There's obviously the links to Arsenal and the hope that hey, maybe we'll get some loan players through the door. That would be useful. And also, as we've said already, the experience in Chris Powell as his assistant is also as exciting, or if not more exciting for me as well. So it's not just that. There's a really interesting comment. I just want to put this question to both of you, actually, because it was a comment earlier by Highland Hatter, who said, "Will Cal remain captain?" He's been one of our poorest performing players, I'd say, this season as well. And it's a really interesting point that Wilshere made about having the senior group there behind him as well. What do we think? Do we think he can turn it around in terms of Cal and his form, or is he someone who maybe we need to cut our losses with?
Now you go first, Si, because I'll put you out after this.
I don't think they'll change it. I think Cal will stay captain. Continuity with the squad. I don't see any reason to take it off him. Who are you going to put it on? Jordan Clark? I think that's you.
Well, it would be Clark and yeah, well, Cal would remain club captain, but then Jordan Clark would also be a captain. Essentially, Clark, Saville, like he'll stick it on all the senior players, but he'll want all the senior players to be captains as well, like leaders on the pitch, the way they should have been all along.
Yeah, man, I get you. I know
Yeah.
it's really
I only put the question. I only put the question forward. Well, because it was in the chat, but also because do we really think that that Cal's been performing to the level as a leader or a player on the pitch that we expected him to this season?
No,
He hasn't
and you
for
can
me.
see it. No, and you can see it in the pictures that were released as well. Like you see Cal sort of just skulking off to the corner, right at the back of the group of players assembled to sort of receive Jack Wilshere. He's sort of like, not exactly like a captain, tucked away right at the back.
I think that's the problem, isn't it? I think for me, apart from Clark and maybe Saville, though he's not had brilliant games every time, but Saville's been pretty consistent. There's not another player on the pitch that you think when the chips were down and things were looking bleak kept on fighting. I think that's the worry for me that Cal didn't demonstrate that. But hey, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, we will. Right. Si, thank you very much for coming on. We'll try and get our next caller on. Yeah, cheers, mate. Have a good one.
See you later.
Cheers, mate.
How does he leave? He leaves of his own accord. I don't know how he does it. Like, I don't get the satisfaction of booting him out.
I mean, you managed to leave quite a lot right when we were about to start the podcast by your own accord. Didn't come back in. So
yeah. But I've got authority to enter and leave. Blackpool Hatter, if you're out there, come back. We saw you in the green room and you sort of left really, really quickly. So it'd be good to get you back in, Blackpool Hatter. Come back. Come back.
Have you seen who's been linked with the Blackpool job? That would be good. Bloomfield at Bloomfield Road.
But I don't think that's going to happen because he didn't move closer to Luton for that role. Like he was living.
That's Felixstowe or something. He
was living in Felixstowe. It was a 4-hour round trip to get to Luton. Like what's he going to do?
In your geography, God.
I know it because it's in Kent, isn't it?
Oh no, you were doing so well, and then you just blew it.
It's sort of in that. It's in Essex, isn't it?
Suffolk. I think
where's Suffolk?
South of Norfolk, where Ipswich is.
Really?
It might be Essex. It might be Essex. It might be over the. So apologies. I'm pretty sure it's Suffolk. I'm pretty sure Felix is Suffolk.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I should know from sort of backwards, but it's not in Kent. It's
I'm
east.
going to...
If that's what you're asking the question, it is east, and it's a bloody long way from Blackpool. So your point's valid.
Yeah. I'm going to East Anglia. I'll stop in on Felixstowe on my way there.
On your way.
On my way.
On the way to many places.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He didn't bother moving for the Luton job, and he was doing the round journey like pretty much on a daily basis. Like that's brutal.
Yeah, it is. I can confirm it's in Suffolk, by the way.
Oh, well done.
Thanks.
Yeah. Is this a derby? Harking back to our, our game week predictions. It's a long-standing joke that my geography is absolutely terrible. Like, if things like Waze didn't exist, like I wouldn't be able to get anywhere in life. Honestly, tremendous.
You never had to direct yourself or parents using the big old. AA maps.
Of course. I had to do that like 25 years ago. Like it's like a muscle. If you don't work it out. I used to love looking at maps. I still do love looking at maps. But the thing is, like, I haven't had to navigate on a map. So, why would I be any good at it or know where geography is? Like, you ask me where things in London are. I know where everything in London is.
Yeah. City boy, you see. Right, there was some good comments I saw earlier while we're waiting for Blackpool Hatter, and of course anybody else, please phone in, give us your opinion. They don't all have to be this is great and positive. Obviously Ollie and myself have made it clear on our thoughts, but give us a call if you have a different one or another point to make on anything from today. But there was some really good good points that were made. Oh yeah, Phil Clark. All the positivity evaporates Saturday when Jack goes to 3 at the back. Yeah. Here we go again.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine
Yeah,
lining up with like all the square pegs in round holes, like Cal Naismith left wing back.
It's happening again.
Yeah.
Like
Al Hamady right wing back. No,
it'd be nice to
Al
see
Hamady won't be.
inside, but
Yeah,
I don't
know.
think he's ready
not
yet.
not right wing back.
No, that would be Rob Edwards at Sheffield United levels, square pegs round holes. That one. But yeah, there's lots of talk about Steve Bold still might be involved. I guess I don't know whether that's the case. I'd be surprised personally. I thought if Steve Bold would come in, it would be as his number 2. But what do I know? If he came in, that's great. Obviously, it'd be nice to have some coaches in their professional kind of areas that they can coach rather than the goalkeeping coach for attacking and things like that. That would be nice.
He knows where the strikers don't want it.
What by the corner flag? Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, to be honest, those alley shots sort of.
Yeah, I didn't name names, but everyone knew who I was talking about.
It was funny when that happens. My dad turned around to me when the first one happens. Ali cuts in and hits it with his left, and it sort of almost clears the Oak Road ends. I was like, he turned around to me, gave me the look. I was like, okay, look, he's right-footed, and then 5 minutes later, he does the exact same thing. Hits it to the corner flag with his right foot. Yeah. Oh god, that just summarized our time.
He's got golf in his head.
My god.
That must be it.
Straight to the green.
Yeah, terrible. Another one, Trunky123. I'm optimistic, but I remember being pumped up for Ricky Hill. Yeah, I mean, we all were at that point. I mean, I was still pretty early, I guess, in my Luton Town supporting, but remember it well. I would say that Ricky Hill, it was obviously a really poor stint, but there were lots of other mitigating factors there as well during his time in charge of Luton. He didn't have the easiest time off the pitch, right? And I think he was only there for a really short amount of time as well. So like, 2 months, 3 months or something, wasn't it? So
he got sacked and replaced by Lil Facillo, another former Luton player.
It. Yeah.
Before Joe Kinnear came in as director of football under Facillo, and then sort of positioned himself as manager. It was actually pretty good at that point because Mike Watson-Challis was throwing a lot of money in at the club. He was chucking so much money in, and in all fairness, Ricky Hill that was sort of our first foray into many foreign signings, and they just didn't work. Something that we're seeing a lot nowadays, like why they don't work at Luton as well, foreign signings, because we don't have a player liaison to do the basic things like translate text for Chris Makoso and tell him when to get to training on time. Like the fact that it was for Matt Bloomfield to actually message him and tell him what time to come into training is ridiculous. That is something that a player liaison needs to do. But we didn't have that in 2000 with Ricky Hill. I spoke to Liam George about that actually, and he said Ricky was sacked too early, and we were going down anyway that season. Like we've been circling the what's the Boston bit of the toilet hole. We've been circling.
I think you say the drain because that's the phrase, but you're going to go with toilet hole. You go for it.
Yeah, the bit where the water is, the target.
The pan, I believe that's called the target.
We were circling the pan for half a decade, and we were obviously going down. And it would have been nice if Ricky Hill had, had a bit more of a time, but it happens. And Mike Watson-Challis was not so patient. Maybe it was Cliff Bassett. No, it was definitely Mike Watson-Challis. Pretty sure. Don't
know, all sort of mold into one at that point, isn't it? In terms of ownership, we changed hands a lot. What did he say? Barry Pugh said, "I hope Jack Wilshere's appointment goes better than the last local appointment." One Kevin Blackwell, me too. Cracky, it can't go worse. That's impossible. Because we did get relegated that season as well, but crikey. Do you remember when Kevin Blackwell came back? I think he was Neil Warnock's assistant. when he came back and got absolute dog's abuse. I was
So much
proudly
abuse.
part of that group that gave it to him. But yeah, what an absolute wanker that man is.
Yeah, Kev Blackwell was only out for Kev Blackwell.
Yeah,
he was
of course.
only out for himself. By the story that came out afterwards about him trying to flog Dean Brill so he could get a share of the fee, like those types of arrangements, they're not alien to football by any stretch of the imagination. Like Mike Newell got a cut of like selling players as well. Like, it's not alien, but the way he did it, like he would actually sell Brill at a cut price to a team that he knew he was going to manage, rather than selling him for a larger amount to a team that he wasn't going to be managing. Essentially, that was the whole, problem and strife with Kev Blackwell. He was just dishonest piece of shit at the end of the day. Yeah,
I think it's fair to say that him and Wilshere are quite different characters. I'm not so worried about that. But yeah.
Where are you up to with the old comments?
Well, I'm going all over the place.
Are you going all over the place? Okay,
I'm all over the place.
Find out where you were at.
Well, I'm right near the top now because I mentioned that because it just came up. So
there's so many. It's a Hail Mary from Sweet. Takes the heat off him for a bit. That I agree with that. Yeah.
Look, but credit where it's due, and look, because I think it's only fair. I think this in the world generally is that if people moan for moaning's sake, they lose all credibility. Their points do anyway. So if you give, I think in this case, in both cases of getting rid of Bloomfield and appointing Wilshere, I think yes, it's a risk, but I think that the board, including Sweet, do deserve some credit for this. And yes, as a byproduct, it should take the heat off him, but rightly so, because it's what we want. That's okay. I don't mind that. If he signs some fullbacks in January, that'll also take the heat off him, because we want to sign fullbacks in January. That's fine by me. So if he's only out for himself and that's the only reason he's doing it, I don't give a shit, because we'll get better as a result. So fine by me.
Hopefully he has some sort of working relationship with Yusuf Sajjad, and he can build that relationship with Jay Sochik as well, and actually tell them who he wants. These are the players I want. Go get them. That is a big part of it as well, because I feel Bloomfield wasn't getting the players he wanted. He got one or two of the ones that he wanted. He wanted Al Hamadi. He wanted Kajua. Although Kajua's
clearly the players he'd worked with.
Good player. Yeah. Well, all the players like Longwick, he wanted those players. But a lot of the other players, it seems like the recruitment department were working with autonomy, whereas hopefully Yusuf Sajjad will respect Jack Wilshere enough to, sort of ask him, so what do you want, Jack? And then Jack will actually have the gumption to say, I want this, this, and this. Or I want this player. If I can't get this player, I want this player. If I can't get this player, I want this player. And we actually get the players in that he wants. I imagine there'll be a lot of kids that he worked with at Arsenal. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get Max Dowman. He's only 15.
We're going to get some of the... Lewis Skelly's pretty good. I hear he's pretty good. We can borrow him. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Any of the players that he played with. What's Arshavin doing these days?
Isn't he like in
He was amazing. He was amazing for like half a season in a World Cup, wasn't he?
Yeah, he scored 4 goals in one game as well against Liverpool, didn't he?
Yeah, insane player.
Yeah, maybe Fabregas will, take a sabbatical from managing Como, and he'll come over. Who knows? Danny Club, Wilshere, my 41st manager. Wow, very impressive.
Good work.
I'm trying to think how many.
If that was Watford, they'd only been supporting him for a season.
Nottingham Forest half a season, mate.
Yeah, 41, blimey. Yeah, that is a lot. We're
probably in the 30s. I reckon we're probably about 35. Yeah. I wrote an article when Nathan Jones left a couple of months before Nathan Jones left.
First time.
And the first time, and he was my 26th or 27th manager. Okay. It depends entirely on if Danny Club is including interims, like Alan Nielsen's, Brian Steen's, Kevin Watson's. Like that's We don't
Yeah.
add inches to our dick here. Yeah. I reckon I'm at about 35.
Another great phrase for this evening. Yeah.
Yeah, that and you know what the bottom of the toilet is called, the bit with the water.
Yeah.
Although you know, if you go abroad, like in Belgium, you know, sometimes they don't even have
oh god,
they don't even have the water at the bottom. You know, it's
right.
just like a hole in the ground.
Listen, people, this is what happens when you don't phone in. All right, if you want to hear this for half an hour, this is exactly what happens. Call in now. I don't want to know about Belgian shitters.
Oh yeah, it stopped off a service station once. It was literally like 2 handholds, you know, foot plates, and then a hole in the ground. But that was about 20 years ago. It's very unpleasant. Yeah. So no water in that toilet hole.
Thank you. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to comment at all.
Right,
oh dear.
Dare I scroll down and read the comments now?
Yeah, there's a few. Tom Mallett's about the recruitment department you'd already talked about, but whether he dismantles it or keeps it. So that brings back to what you were just saying about how that was going to work and how much say he's going to have. I saw a lot of annoying Sky Sports pundits talk about him being the head coach just because he's young, I guess, but he's not. He's the manager. So
did you hear what Sherwood was saying about him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was thinking
what was that about?
Oh, listen. If I think the opposite to Tim Sherwood, I always know that I'm roughly about on the right path with things. That's generally a good guide in life. If you start agreeing with Tim Sherwood, right, it's the same. It's the same as agreeing with what's his face, ex Southampton. Oh, why? It's just gone straight out of my head. You
Matt
know exactly what I'm
Letizia.
talking about. It's the same thing. If you start agreeing with Matt Letizia, you need to turn your phone off.
Brilliant.
Go for an early
He's
night.
So funny in a surreal way. Like,
it's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
You know, but Tim Sherwood just having a moan because it brought him back some memories of when he was interviewed and didn't get the job over Tony Pulis for West Brom, basically. So he's got some form of PTSD. I mean, to be fair, I'll be pissed off if I didn't get the job above Tony Pulis at that point as well.
Isn't he their most successful manager of the modern era? Tony Pulis. No. Or am I thinking of Stoke? No, Tony Pulis was like the most successful Stoke manager.
Yeah, I mean, he was good for Stoke, but that football. Wow. But yeah, I mean, Tim Sherwood just talking nonsense. I guess he clearly looked at the idea of experience, and I kind of get that point, but the idea that you would interview more than one type of manager seemed to absolutely baffle him. It was mad.
I'm happy they interviewed multiple managers because from what I've heard, they only interviewed Bloomfield last time. It was a very quick appointment. I feel they did take their time with this one a little bit within reason. Obviously, it was during the international break. But you know, they've interviewed. I think Gary said in his 3CR interview, they've interviewed managers with experience. They've interviewed a couple of managers like Jack. They spoke to Jack 4 times as well, so you know they've got a good understanding and foundation in place there. When talking about managers that they interviewed who had experience, I reckon that's probably just John Brady and Orient guy Richie Wellens. Yeah. The only other manager I would have taken other than Jack Wilshere would have been Graham Alexander.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah. That's the only other manager I would have taken at this level. You know, a realistic manager I would have taken at this level. You know, obviously I would have taken Danny Rowe. There's no chance he would have come down to League One. Sean Dyche, he's not coming down to League One. Not even going down to the Championship.
I was going to say, he's not.
Yeah, Warnock just for the novelty factor, but there's no chance he'd not come down to League One. And
he's
Sharon, Sharon just wants him to retire already. You know. He's doing his stand-up tour or whatever around. There was no one. There was no one else really. And I feel Horses for Causes, this was the right choice, right time. I hope it works well.
No, exactly. And that's what we're saying. You know, the experienced manager that everyone talks about that we needed that will give these players a lift and everything else. Just, you know, their pedigree that we want and those managers are just not going to come to us now. As you said before, the time to do that was when we hired Bloomfield. It's too late for that. So no, as I said, it's completely the right decision from all of those candidates. And there was the guy, ex-Watford guy that's at
Charlie Daniels.
Oh yeah, no, not him. I saw that more recently. No, I was thinking of the
Matt Sadler.
Matt Sadler, that's it. Sorry, yeah, I'm losing my words. Matt Sadler, yeah, was linked, but probably just automatically linked because he did really well for 3/4 of a season last season, and then spectacularly bottled it.
Massively bottled it.
Unbelievable. That's quite impressive. Like, you have to say,
he was 15 points clear.
Yeah, and
like Rob Edwards did that. Rob Edwards did that with Forest Green, sort of limped over the line.
No, we got, but considering in League Two there are 3 automatic promotion places as well, and he was 15
finished
points
fourth.
clear a second, and he finished fourth. Yeah, he only had to finish third.
Yeah, finished fourth in a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
Well, fourth in a 1-horse race.
It's insane, isn't it? Insane. But yeah, I like Graham Alexander. We said this actually, I think, on Wednesday, didn't we? When we did the weekly roundup stuff, that I like the idea of Graham Alexander, but I didn't see him leaving Bradford. So
no.
Yeah.
Here's one. Gary Who says would have took Gerrard. No, thank you.
I don't think he'd come to us. You imagine how much money he's been paid out as well.
Yeah. The thing is with Scouse managers and Rooney, Gerrard, I feel this is nothing against Scouse people, but they have a certain way of talking. It's not exactly the most energetic way, is it? Like, I think Ryan Lowe is probably the most energetic Scouse I've heard talk. Yeah. Oh, there you go. I see you nodding. Like Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, he probably is. I just never thought about it before.
Yeah, like Steven Gerrard.
Rooney,
you're down at half time. Steven Gerrard, starts telling you, right, lads. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be attacking the second half. It's my Scouse accent. Do you mind?
This is what happened. He spent far too long over in UAE. That's the problem. He's lost his accent by the sound of
things. Wayne Rooney as well, yeah. Like any of those northern accents.
Any of them. Unless you're gone now.
But when you get to Scotland, then you get the angry accents, and you get the. All I can think of is someone like Gordon Strachan just absolutely bellowing out stuff, and Alex Ferguson, angry Scots. I'm thinking of my grandma as well, angry Scots. Lord, they know how to shout. But yeah, I can't imagine Gerrard actually losing it in a changing room. Same with Rooney.
Yeah, well, I think I just don't think it doesn't fit either way. I think for me, Gerrard's a bit of a spent force as well at the moment. He's not done anything, has he, for so long. It completely, Villa was Villa his last English job? Have I?
Yes.
Missed one? No, it was Villa, wasn't it?
No, it was Villa. He bombed out of Villa. Then Unai Emery took pretty much the exact same squad, finished 6th. Yeah. With no additions.
No, exactly that. Yeah. So anyway, what I was going to say, if it helps in terms of Ollie bad mouthing the North, just bear in mind his geography. So, you could be. No one's safe from what Ollie thinks is the North. Anything north of Watford Gap Services is the North. So
Watford Gap Services are very north. Anything north of Luton, mate, is the North. The Midlands are the North.
So-called the Midlands. Crazy that. Yeah. So I rest my case.
Like anything above Junction 10, I'll tell you why. Okay, this is what happens when no one calls in.
Yeah.
After Junction 10, the junctions get so far. It's like the North doesn't want you to go into it. It's crazy, right? Like, what is it between Junction 11 and 12? It's like 13 miles. That is like the world's longest junction.
No, okay, if you say so.
It is. It is.
Never heard anyone say this before.
Yeah, Matt says your accents are worse than your geography.
And that's some going, but I agree. Yeah.
That's a very fair point.
Right. Super Mickey Chow's actually asked a decent question. Should we answer that before we finish? So talking about geography. So what sort of results would you be happy with under Wiltshire for the next few games? How many points? So
So
a
next
really
10.
decent question in terms of that.
Next 10, like
Well,
30 points
let's
minimum.
think who we've got in. Yeah, yeah, minimum. A minimum of 30. I think that's reasonable. Next 10. Let's just go next 5, shall we? In terms of who we've got in those 5 games. Now, Mansfield away. I think
Mansfield at home, right?
Sorry, Mansfield at home. Sorry, yeah. What am I talking about? Mansfield at home.
Yeah.
You'd say is a game we should be looking at winning, but it's difficult to put that weight on Wilshere considering how bad we were against Cambridge with almost a first team squad. That's the difficulty, isn't it?
Have Mansfield just got Lucas Akins back in as well?
What, from prison? Is he
from prison?
I thought he's. Yeah, is it genuinely?
Yeah, he's back.
Have they really?
Yeah,
I've not seen this.
Back.
What?
Yeah, he's back.
Oh,
yeah,
Christ.
Lucas Akins
okay.
is back. You know, he'll have to get a nice welcome from the fans. You know.
Well, 100%. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Wasn't aware of that. Must have just missed that one and everything else.
Oh, it's literally like yesterday. Came out yesterday.
Right. Okay.
I mean, he didn't come out yesterday. The news that Mansfield have taken him back came back yesterday.
That's quick. So, I mean, in terms of games coming up, just got it up here. We've got Mansfield at home. We've got Northampton away the following Saturday. That's gonna be a tough game. Then we've got the Virtue Trophy against the Brighton under-21s, and then the FA Cup the Saturday. So we've got a little bit of a break, and then the next league game is on the 8th of November, which is away to Stockport. And then it's Rotherham, then Barnsley. So I think realistically, by the time we get to Stockport, we should start seeing, a turnaround hopefully in form. I don't expect us to go to Stockport and win the game. It's a tough place to go, and they're a good team. They've not been quite at it as we thought they might be. At the start of the season, it's still going to be a really tough game. I think we should, Rotherham at home is obviously a point where we should be able to start seeing a Wilshere team a little bit more and start to hopefully dominate a game and go from there. But I've not got massive expectations in terms of points. I don't know about you.
I want to see the performances improve before we see points on the board. I think if performances improve and player attitude changes, then I think the points will follow. If we can see, if the crowd can see that the players are actually acquitting themselves and not making the basic stupid errors that they have been, and actually turn up and actually look like they want to be on the pitch, playing for Luton Town, playing for the badge, I think there will be more slack for Wilshere, for the board, for the players, providing they actually look like they're acquitting themselves. That is ultimately it. Like, I wouldn't put a point prediction together for it. I'll predict each game as it comes, really. But we just got to see more from the players. That is ultimately it. Yeah,
it's a low bar as well. And in the small glimpses we've seen this season, when the players do click, there is some real promise that we can play good football and we can attack. I mean, and it is glimpses, but there were, some of the plays in the second half versus Peterborough. I know that feels like a long time ago now. The penalty that we got against Doncaster, much more recently, the play that led up to that, that was the only good attack. In fact, the first 5 minutes against Stevenage as well. We can play attacking football. We need to do it for more than about 10 minutes in every game. And as you said, don't be suicidal going the other way. So it's that, and if we play closer towards, the players are on about, I'd say about 10%. I don't buy this, that the players just aren't good enough, by the way. I just don't buy it. I don't think that's the case for all of them, that there are players there that probably aren't the level that we need, but I would say the vast majority of the squad are playing at around 10 to 20% of their actual ability. And we know that for a fact. We've seen how they can play. So it's a low bar. If you get them playing to even 50, 60% of their capability, we will win more games than we lose.
I disagree with that. If you're playing any less than 100%, essentially you're not going to be committed when you go to win 50-50s.
Oh yeah, sure.
You're
No,
not, yeah.
I don't mean in terms of commitment. I mean just in terms of their ability, what their capability is
Sure.
in terms of that. So that's more of a confidence thing, I guess. But no, I'm with you. 100%. We need to see that first and foremost, the commitment.
Yeah. Well, here's a geography lesson. So Brimister says it's actually 14 to 15. That's 13 miles. I'm sure it was, just north of Luton. It was.
Wonders never cease. Yeah.
Yes, that's MK to Northampton. Apparently, junction 11 to junction 12 is Dunstable to Toddington, but that's still quite far. You go junction 5 to junction 10. That takes you 15 minutes. You go junction 10 to junction 15. That can take you an hour. It's mad.
This is really riveting stuff. Oh look, there's
Yeah.
sorry, another comment really quickly. A Lincoln fan. I like Jack Wilshere as a player, but I think it's a risky appointment. I wish him well. Yeah, it's a risky appointment. We've been talking about it. But I think
bet you're happy that we didn't take Scubula.
Yeah, he was never gonna come to us. But again, another promising manager at the level. But again, even though I think he's great, and it's the case with Wellens at Orient, I don't know whether he's the kind of manager that these players would respond to. I really don't. That's not, again, nothing on him, but I just don't think it's what we needed. And he's why would he leave a really good team in Lincoln at the moment?
Yeah, well, we did take their head of recruitment, didn't we?
Yep.
Still got to see what he does, but he's a Luton fan, so obviously he was just happy to come back. Super Mickey Chow, I'm personally hoping for a better defence. Some clean sheets would be nice, and a good proportion of shots on target, 50% or so. You'd hope the likes of Keeley, even though he is from Spurs, Keeley would sort of start stepping up. You just want the youth who sort of grew up on Jack Wilshere to be like, wow, Jack Wilshere, I want to be inspired.
Yeah. If we're playing 4 at the back, I don't see how Cal gets in the team when we've got full team out. That's the thing for me. Stop playing Cal just because he's the captain. If we're going to play 4 at the back, he's not anywhere near good enough in terms of central defence. I don't think he's better on the left, but I still prefer Bramall there.
Yeah, I said it when Cal was announced, didn't I? I said that. Yeah, but when Cal was announced, I was like, this means we are going to be doing the 3 at the back, and now we just got Cal.
Yeah.
We got Cal
and the other thing,
knocking around.
And the other thing is is a bit more consistency at the back as well. That's the other problem. Keeley's had a different central defensive pairing in front of him probably nearly every single game he's played for us. It doesn't help. We saw that with Kaminsky last season.
No, it really doesn't. Jack, does Elijah get straight back into the team? No, because he's out until March at the earliest. Did his ACL at the end of last season. Nick and Mel think the players will really look up to Wilshere and Powell. Naturally want to give their all. Yep, hopefully so. This will be the last one that we'll finish on for this evening. DMC 123. Ryman, what time frame are we thinking Wilshere can turn the ship?
Saturday or forget it. Forget it. I think as we move into sort of towards the Christmas period, we should be looking up a little bit more. So I'd say I'd give him another 6 weeks or so. Not until we get rid of him.
You're going to give him 6 weeks.
No. 6 weeks, and we'll start to see proper influence in the team. I really do. A bit more consistency in the results as well.
Yeah, it's not just the Christmas period. I want to see us, look completely different. For what I want to see, sort of in the immediate, I want to see us not completely suck for 3-game weeks. I want to see a massive improvement in that. I'm pretty sure for the past 3 years, whenever there's been a 3-game week, we haven't taken maximum points. We can't do it. We haven't gone unbeaten in a 3-game week.
No.
For a long time. I want to see a massive
fitness,
improvement
mentality, whatever that is. It's been probably a mixture of both. It's been ridiculous. I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, that's us done. Sorry there was no phone in yesterday. We made the decision that we were gonna wait until today because it looks imminent that Jack Wilshere was going to be appointed, and we wanted to react and react we have. There's a instant reaction in the comment section below this video, so check it out. That's my instant reaction. And yeah, and whether you've watched this live, thank you very much to everyone that's watched it live. Thank you to everyone that's watched it back, and thank you to everyone that's listened as well across Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you very much. And everyone, have a great week, because we got 4 days until Mansfield now, pretty much. So let's be having it.
I'm looking forward to a game of football.
Yay! Everyone, take care. Most importantly, come on, you Hatters.